Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this video and welcome to my channel. In this video, we're going to have an interview with the CEO of Aqarchain today to see this beautiful project. We have done already a review and show some informations, but today I have here some questions from the public, from our audience, and we're going to go through some very specific questions to know more about this project. And I think there's no one better than you to answer these questions and to tell us more about this wonderful project. So welcome to this video and welcome to my interview.
Thank you, Janice. It's wonderful to speak to you again after the last interview we did, and I think it's a welcome comeback and to be on your channel.
Thank you too. So let's start with the first questions. I have a list with questions here, and so your project is about real estate. Is something very unique, NFT real estates. And I just would like you to tell us a bit more about this project as an introduction or summary. So
as we say, Aqarchain. So Aqarchain basically is a real estate tokenization platform, which is enabling where we are converting real estates into a digital asset, minting an NFT of that digital asset, and fractionalizing the NFT. So what happens is that the NFT is fractionalized is further fractionalized into shares, and users are able to buy into smaller shares of the real estate asset and owning a fractional share of that particular NFT. And against this, what we also have is the metaverse, which is called as the Aqarland. And anyone who buys into a real world property, for example, if he buys 100 square feet into of another apartment, the user is able to claim 100 square feet in the metaverse in the Aqarland as well. So if you purchase a real world property, you are able to claim a metaverse land as well, which in turn has its own utility. It has its own mechanism in terms of owning the NFT. So you are owning two NFTs with one purchase. So that's what basically Aqarchain is all about.
I see that you are in the trend with everything, and the Aqarland was not in the previous interview. Yes. Like when we did, it was not ready that time.
Yes, so it wasn't ready. Now it's ready. Yes, it wasn't ready at that time. Now it's ready. Now it's taking shape. Now it's already there for gearing up for its launch. So yes, there are other components of the picture also getting combined together.
Awesome. So how does this the property token staking works exactly? So the audience learn more about it.
Okay, so the property token staking is an added advantage for investors and the users to actually materialize and capitalize on the opportunity of investing. So what happens is that if when we are listing properties, real estate returns are pretty slow compared to what people would earn in crypto in a general environment. So we offer basically doubling your investment and returns, doubling your return on investment by staking the NFT. So for example, if you are investing into a property share which is earning, let's say, 5% on an annual rate. So what happens is you could, whatever NFT that you have purchased, which you're getting dividends of, you can stake that particular NFT and earn 5% more in the native utility tokens as well. So overall, your earning would come to 10% on an annual rate as well. So this is how we try to give more in terms of added advantage. So the reason why anyone would want to buy a share of a property through us and not any other platform is because of three major reasons. One is because you get quality deals which are not available for institutional investors, and you're able to invest into the property at an early stage with a guaranteed ROI. Second, you're able to stake the NFT tokens and get double your return on investment and get double the returns. And third, you're able to claim an metaverse land on that. So basically, you are getting three use case advantages in return of investing into an Aqarland property.
That's quite impressive because in the beginning it was the idea only that somebody could purchase. I remember that could purchase a piece of real estate as NFT, but now is the staking. Now is the land of Aqarland, also a piece of land. So it's more attractive, and so people can have more profit. Yes. And like I can see that this is even more profitable than the usual investing in the property, because if you invest in the property, you know exactly how you're going to gain, and there is not staking, there is not Aqarlands in the metaverse, etc. So yes. I like this development, these new features.
Yes.
All right. So as third questions, you are already referred to Aqarchain, but I would like you to tell us a bit more because, okay, I guess Aqarchain is the metaverse of Aqarchain.
Yes.
Right? So
yes.
like how it works, it's already a metaverse that is a copy of specific areas, or how is, if you want to say some, yeah.
Okay. So no, it is not actually a copy of an existing virtual space or no. So this metaverse land is basically a land where you get an empty land. So when as a user, when you buy the real world property and you get a metaverse, you're able to claim the metaverse land. When you claim the metaverse land, what you can do on the metaverse land is you can buy NFT assets, populate the land, and you can start developing what you want to develop on that land. Okay. And then we right now are in stages where we are partnering with a lot of gaming companies, and plus there is an Aqarchain game as well, which is going to be followed up in the next quarter, where you could import this game and start playing a land exploration game with this particular game as well. So in terms of the utility, there's a lot of utility. So the first thing that we are going to release is the NFT marketplace, where people are going to start buying and purchasing NFTs of assets. And these are populating assets that could be used to populate the land, make the land. So if I have a larger piece of land, I could probably make something very useful on that land, and it could also be an opportunity to monetize. And similarly, there are going to be companies that are going to be owning the land as well. We've already done a few deals with the companies as well. Companies are going to be building their own studios, own virtual land spaces on that metaverse land. So as an exploration, when you go into the metaverse land, you'll be able to explore the development, what other users have done. You'll be able to explore the development, what other companies have done, and you'll be able to play. There will obviously be a P2E mechanism of earning as well. So you'll be able to play and earn on the Aqarchain game as well. So overall, it's going to be a full packaged ecosystem where you're going to have NFTs, you're going to have the metaverse, you'll have a real tangible asset, and you'll have a gamified version as well.
Wow! So you're getting all the trend in.
Yes.
That's good. All right. And next question is how somebody can buy land now in the Aqarchain, like, except you mentioned already this, that if somebody buy property, but it's also another way that somebody can just like buy land on Aqarchain, or
no.
Yeah.
So there are two ways of people who could buy land on Aqarchain. One is when you buy a real world property, you are able to get the metaverse land. Now, if this land in a secondary market is sold, then that is when you will be able to buy it in the secondary market.
Oh, I see. Because somebody would have that land in the Aqarchain, and he can resell it. Oh,
he can resell it. So there's a secondary market where people could buy from, or they could buy from the companies who own the land, who will own the land, and who will basically, let's say, for example, a company buys an X amount of land, and they decide that, they will sell this much of land as or they will do it as a giveaway, and part of the land they will use as development of their product or their game or their metaverse or whatever. So that is the second option where you could buy the land. But for a first-hand purchase of a land, you have to buy a real-world property. That is where the price of the land is derived from.
Oh, I see. And another question, I just want to understand like the value of an Aqarchain. Let's say that I buy a property for $100,000 and I get same size in the Aqarchain. So what could be, like, just like an estimation, even if it is not specific, the value, like what could be the value of that land now that I got it in the Aqarchain?
The value of the land will be the same, which is the value of the property that you purchased for.
So, really?
Yeah, because for example, if I'm buying a land for, let's say, I bought a small one share in a real world property for, let's say, $500. Okay. Yeah. So the Aqarchain value is now $500 for that land. So now if I would want to resell it, I am eligible to sell it at $500 because that is the land, that is the price at which I was able to claim it for, right? So unless and until, you know, then it is up to me that if I want to sell it at a lower price or a higher price, then again, it's my property. I can sell it at whatever. But ideally, the price that you could sell it at is the price at which you have purchased in the real world. So that is where you could actually get the price mechanism from.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting, because in this way, somebody just doubled their investments with one move.
Exactly. So right now, the thing is that we would want people to actually go ahead and accumulate as much of AQR tokens as you can, because in the near coming couple of months, there's going to be a lot of utility that is going to be available. And once the utility comes into place, then obviously the AQR token price will actually increase, because then the utility is substantially much more available for the people to use into it.
There's going to be more demand, etc.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know that. All right, let's move to the next question. Is the return of investment, ROE, fixed and guaranteed?
Yes, that's a very good question. So we generally work with property developers or on properties where the ROI is actually guaranteed. So what happens is that we try to estimate a scenario where the properties don't have to be non-revenue generating at any point of time. So for example, now when the property is getting listed, at the same time, we also ensure that the ROI that is being written or portrayed, that ROI is actually guaranteed. So that is, it's not a minimum value, or it's not a maximum estimate of what you're going to earn. That is the exact amount that you're going to get in terms of your ROI, which is guaranteed. And this is actually done for a period of 2 years to 3 years, so that, you know, there is stability in the project. And then once the capital appreciation happens, and once the project is actually, and we choose projects basically which are in very early stages. So there is going to be a capital appreciation on the project, and you can actually get more value from the project rather than, you know, something which has already been appreciated 10 times. That doesn't make sense for us to actually list on a platform and then you don't get any capital appreciation on that, because the gain in capital appreciation could be 20-25% more than what you would get in terms of the returns on investment as well.
Interesting. All right, and I like that is guaranteed and the way how it works. All right, and another question. In the physical world, apartment, investments, in the return of investment, fixed or guaranteed? Yeah, okay, we saw this already. What happens if the apartment doesn't get rented? Like you invest and doesn't get rented?
Okay, so this is like what I told you, that, you know, this is the exact scenario that I was talking about, where we actually make sure that the ROI is actually guaranteed for 2 years or 3 years. So once it's guaranteed for 2 years or 3 years, so what happens is we initially have a buffer in terms of the ROI that is guaranteed for 2 years. And once we start the property in terms of leasing, so there is no period where user doesn't have to worry about the property not being rented out. So even if it is delayed by a month, 2 months or 3 months, that does not affect the ROI for the investor. They still get the ROI, what is being guaranteed over that period of time. And then when the property gets into a new tenement and then into a new listing, that is the ROI which comes into the next year's place. So for example, now if I guarantee, when you're investing into a property now, which is guaranteed for 2 years, so 1 year is the development period. So you're still getting 2 years of ROI, which is guaranteed. Now, next year, whatever is the ROI that the property will generate will be offered to the investor in the 3rd year. So ultimately, the investor is not worried, or they are not worried about the empty space or the empty period when the property is not being rented.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
But still, it's real estate. We don't guarantee. I mean, in terms of that, there could be a situation, but in our all proposition, we have structured it in such a way that it most likely 99% it will not happen that it will not be a rented property. 1%, again, you know, markets, we cannot define the markets. We cannot say how it will be projected or how it will be function in the next 2 years or 3 years. But at the same time, we can only estimate, and based on our estimates and projections, we can actually guarantee up to a 99% occupation of the property.
Yeah, and I think it's enough, because like 100% we cannot guarantee nothing in this world.
Yeah, yeah.
I got it. Perfect. Let's go to the next question. Will the ROE be given back in the native tokens, Aqarchain token?
Yes,
These are the questions that most of the users are asking when they saw the review, etc.
Yeah. So yes. So basically, what will happen is that the ROI, which is the return on the investment, will be given in the native AQR tokens, and it will be given in the value of the USD value. And so whatever is the value of the property in terms of the percentage we are calculating. So whatever the calculations are, they are in the USD currency value. They will be valued, and whatever the equivalent amount of AQR will be at that time, at the time of giving, that time, in those number of AQRs will be given. So irrespective if the AQR price is high or low, whatever happens, whatever is the value of AQR at the time of giving the dividend, at that time, those many AQRs will be given to the investor.
To the investor. I think that's fair enough, because you know, the price of a token can have volatility anytime. But if you give in the value of that time, I think that's fair enough. Fair enough. Perfect. When will be listed in the exchanges, the Aqar token?
Okay, right now we are on a DEX. We are right now talking to a couple of centralized exchanges. We were about to close some deals, but again, like I said, markets were very, very, very bad position, very bad shape. So we just hold it off for a couple of weeks. So within the next couple of weeks, we should be announcing very soon as a couple of centralized exchange listings. At least 2 or 3 centralized exchange listings, so that, you know, we are able to capture as much of market as possible. But at the same time, I'm still waiting and being optimistic in terms of how the markets will react to it. So just wait a little bit more in terms of how the corrections come into the market. If the markets are pretty much in a positive shape, then definitely very soon we are going to coming up with the bigger liquidity into the centralized exchanges.
Centralized exchanges. But it's already now in decentralized exchanges, so people can swap it anytime.
Yes.
Perfect. Yes. And okay, so last questions, but we'll have many sub questions. Like, what is the future of this project? You know, because as an investor, many of the people want to see the big picture and like where it's going. I remember from October when we did the first interview, that back then was just like to purchase property as NFT with return investment, etc. But now I see that you're going to metaverse, you're going to gamify, you're giving a lot of options to the people. So. And back then there was not so many apartments available to invest, for example, but I guess now are more in the platform and more listed, etc. So you could tell us like what are the expectations, or like what are the plans, like what people can expect as future things to come for this project?
So the first quarter and the second quarter of this year are going to be the major announcements and the major deals in terms of partnerships, features and functions that are going to come out in the project. Like our NFT marketplace is going to be live in this month. Then we are going to have our exchange listing as well. We're going to have our metaverse launch, the map, the first details of our actual Aqar land map are going to be revealed in this month. Few important partnerships related to the allotment of land on the map will be there. Our game partnerships will be announced very soon. Our utility of the land is going to be in place as well, and then the P2E game will be announced in the second quarter. So the first 2 quarters are very much important in terms of all the news announcements and progressions and everything. Quarter 3 and quarter 4 is going to be our expansion in terms of when going into the hospitality sector, going into the expanding into the multiple markets out of UAE as well, and going into the retail and commercial sector as well. So that's going to be all expansion. So we will continue to be into the beta phase till the quarter 3, and then quarter 4 this year we will have the full function release like we had in October last year. This year in October, hopefully we will have a full all function platform release in October this year. So till then it's going to be all development and all announcements and everything. And yes, so we are looking at maybe 2 quarters of development, and the third quarter, which is the Q3, is going to be our major announcement, major launch actually of the full scale platform.
Awesome. I think we cover everything what was now like the most major questions and like things that people wants to know, the audience want to know until now. And if you want to say anything else, like before we end this interview, you are welcome.
No, I think I'm more excited in terms of the things that are going to be coming across. And hopefully, we get a good positive movement on the markets as well, so that, all that we have planned, can help us in our growth as well. And like I said, right now we are looking at a very secured, tangible, asset-backed platform as a growth sector. So yes, I mean, there are ups and downs, but definitely in the long run, we are seeing a good potential and a good scalability in our project. So yeah, so it's fingers crossed for the big home run coming soon.
Perfect. Awesome, man. I want to thank you for this interview, and on behalf also of my audience, we appreciate your time to help us with this interview. So wish the best.
Thank you, Janice. Thank you.